Yay, it says we are live, but we'll see.
Am I supposed to do the thing that I did?
You can. It
So
does help. It does help when you have your camera, or when you have yourself logged in.
See who's coming in.
Just because the delay in the chat on StreamYard is horrible. So we'll see. We are live.
I get a copy of the too.
It'll be right on Facebook or on YouTube. Yeah, absolutely. You can. It's not actually recording to my phone. It's just going to broadcast right to the YouTube. Yep, to the YouTube channel. I can give you a card for that. Hey, we got one person. It's probably John.
It's probably.
Whee!
Yeah, it's me.
Oh, now it says that it looks like we got 4 people in. Who's here? Who's here? Say hi. Diving with R5. How are you doing, Crystal? It's very good to see you. Thank you. We're just about to do an interview. We are getting set up. So that's cool. Haven't seen you in forever. So we're about to do an interview. Jen, there's Jen. Welcome in, welcome in. Everybody hit the like. I'm on StreamYard, so chat is just slightly delayed. But so we are going to be doing an interview with a gentleman who has some artifacts from the Newark State Hospital, which was called the New York State Custodial Asylum for Feeble-Minded Women in Newark, New York. And yeah, so I'm going to run down a little bit of history of the place. The site of the asylum was 104 acres, and it's in the village of Newark. It was built to be a secondary hospital for the Syracuse, New York hospital that they had out there. So from 1878 to 1885, the Newark State School operated as part of the Syracuse State School. In 1885, it became the State Custodial Asylum for Feeble-Minded Women. And that's an actual medical term, feeble-minded women, and I'm going to tell you about that in just a second. Let's see, 1919, the name changed to Newark State School for Mental Defectives. And then in 1927, it became a part of the Department of Mental Hygiene, and the name changed again to the Newark State School, and that's what it remained for the rest of its time. So the term feeble-minded women seems a little offensive in today's times, maybe a little derogatory. Would not be able to name a hospital for feeble-minded women. I'm kind of blocking you, John. There we go. There's John in the background. So some of the terms that were used in the hospitals, and these are actual medical titles. So there was idiot, which was the lowest end of the developmental and mental spectrum according to Victorian doctors. And then there was imbeciles, which was a moderate to severe intellectual disability. And then there was moron, and that would be described as having a mental age comparable to that of a 7 or 10-year-old. And then feeble-minded was the highest functioning level of developmental disability or mental deficiency. So that's what this hospital was the feeble-minded, which was the highest functioning level of all of the spectrum for the mental health. So we have with us, we've been invited into the home of this gentleman, John, and we're going to let him show us some of these very cool, I'm calling them artifacts. I don't know, what would you say? Memorabilia? I'm not sure. But we're going to turn this camera around. Hey, Eric, thanks for coming in. Thank you guys so much. Share us out too. This is going to be maybe about a 20-minute live stream. And we will take questions from all of you as we go. And here is John. John, thanks for having us in. And so tell us a little bit about what you have to show us today.
So
I first learned about the place called the Asylum on the Hill. And rumor had it that that if you stick a flower in front of one of the windows, it will grow with open the curtains. So I was immediately intrigued, which I planned on putting that flower against the window. I never got the chance. But we ended up going, me and a friend of mine ended up actually going into the building itself, the female infirmary, uh, just for exploration. And my buddy was actually a little bit sarcastic about the entire thing. But as we explored inside the building, we ended up getting lost. There was some paranormal. We did have some paranormal experiences with a chair moving once, walking into a room and there was a breeze. We actually ended up getting lost in there. Didn't know what floor we were even on. Friend of mine, well, a lady got jealous and ended up calling the police. That and I ended up in the paper and a $250 fine.
And that was for trespassing?
For trespassing.
Okay. Yeah, that's a big
There's a lot of
area.
You definitely have to get property owners permission.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I came across some pictures that were drawn by the patients. And if you notice here, there's the face. There's something that was scaring the patients there.
So this is actual artwork that the patients it just got left behind when they closed down, and you were able to obtain it. How you doing, Outrageous Videos? Thank you for stopping in.
Also that one. Not quite sure what this one's all about.
Yeah.
I also have that one that I sent you guys, but I don't have it in person.
Right. Before we forget, can you tell us about this mirror?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to forget it.
So I acquired this mirror out of one of the bathrooms. Cleaned it up. The thing is heavy. It's very heavy. I've never encountered anything paranormal with it.
Even though you tried, you did tell us before we went live that you tried.
Yeah, I did try. I even tried the Bloody Mary thing with candles around it, and never
No
had
luck.
anything
Let's well, there's a little K2.
well, you found a way though.
Uh-huh.
That's I always test.
Well, here, you want to hold it then, and I'll move back just a little bit further. We'll see.
See how much there. See,
No.
that's good. No, pulling your phone away, there's still a little stuff going on.
Yeah.
That's why, or anytime I have a phone here.
Yeah. How you doing,
So
Misty
right
Cat?
about
Thank you for stopping in. So we're speaking with John, who's got some collectible artifacts from the Newark State Hospital, which is an asylum here near our city of Rochester. And he's showing us a mirror that he obtained from the facility. And we're getting a little K2 activity. I'm back far enough away. Oh, it just stopped, just like that. Interesting. All right. Well, why don't you show us some more of your stuff, John? Because it's I'm very intrigued by all of this cool stuff you have. What do you got? Oh yeah.
Fallout shelter sign I got out of the basement. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's an authentic
Yeah.
Department of Defense fallout shelter. Very cool.
When we were in the basement, we had me and my buddy. There's a lot of equipment left behind, like easily millions of dollars of tools and beakers and test tubes and everything. They even left behind a big X-ray machine along with X-rays of people's chests.
Oh wow.
And so we easily got lost, just in awe over everything. It's almost like everything was destroyed and everybody left in a hurry. So I was extremely intrigued about the history of the place to find out. They did a lot of bad things to people. There were women. They're considered of low moral values if they had intercourse before marriage.
Right.
They were put into that place.
Correct. Yeah.
And I believe there's a lady named Sarah Fall or something rather that actually was able to escape out of there. If there was nothing really wrong with her. But after a while, when we were in the basement, my buddy stopped. He said, "Yeah, hey, why? You hear that?" And it was just phenomenal how quiet, how loud the silence was.
Right.
So I was like, okay, well, let's turn our flashlights off and let's listen. So we did, and I heard what sounded to me like a blanket or a towel or something dragging across the floor, across the other way. But it was very faint because you're trying to listen over the loud silence.
So I'm sorry to interrupt you. Carol, hello. Thanks for coming in. And then Jen just asked how you got the mirror. But so if you could just tell us that again real quickly, and that'll happen as new people pop in and they see that we're talking about this stuff. So you got the mirror.
I got the mirror from the female infirmary in one of the bathrooms. It's very heavy. Never had any paranormal experience with it, although I did expect it at first. So
yeah. All right, so let's take a look.
And over here I have these items I got out of the basement, which look to me like
maybe if somebody was having electroshock therapy, they would bite down on those.
like a lobotomy or something.
Yeah, some kind of dental inhibitor.
And who knows what that probe was for?
Yeah.
Or what body part that went into.
So I have ward reports here.
Okay.
And I did highlight a few things. I did get to know the characters, the patients, along with the nurses. But all throughout the entire book is reports of bite marks, cause unknown, injuries, cause unknown. Usually with Sharon Merrill. But Sharon would always get up at about 11:30 at night and be disruptive and cry. And then there was Kathy here vomited at school at 10:30 a.m. There's no evaluation, and there was nothing. They couldn't figure out why she was vomiting. And then you also have. I'm not going to go through the whole book. You guys can do that some other time. But then Margaret bitten all over left and right sides. Unknown cause, unknown as to who did it. And actually, as you get more into these, it gets more violent. Margaret, multiple bite marks seen by, I think that it's hard to,
Yeah.
but you have that, and then I believe there's calluses on the third finger of Barbara, open sores. But you go through these, and there's all kinds of injuries that happen, but they're always cause unknown. And I believe one of the patients here had bite marks all over her body, and they wrote it down as cause unknown. So, if the way I see it is, if you have nurses that are watching over these, they have to watch over them constantly 24/7. I don't understand why they wouldn't know the cause.
Right.
So, and I got these out of the base too. Well, this one came out of one of the rooms.
Huh.
And then this came out of the first floor.
So maybe they had like arts and crafts.
That I'm not sure. That, or maybe it was from a family member that gave it to one of the patients. Or...
Could be. Yeah. So the items that John has collected here, he obtained with a friend at a price. he he did get fined for trespassing when he did get this stuff. And it's a real interesting collection. You know, to have these ward reports, it's just so cool. And
This one's from 1977.
Yeah.
It's from 1970.
I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, this is all the journals of the patient. It's so interesting.
It's crazy.
And this is an actual, would have been the book you would have gotten when you were admitted. And it's just a real sign of the times. Like, I'm not trying to cover you up, but just that first line, you know, we would never say anything like that. And those were actual medical terms that were used.
Well, the first page here, it does point out, you see how the family's sad going in, and they do like a propaganda type thing. There's another page where it actually shows them coming out and they're happy. It's somewhere in here. But this is a pamphlet you get when you're taking your child there. A lot of them got abandoned.
Right.
The thing that intrigued me the most was the first page where it talks about in most cases these approaches have been accompanied by wonder and curiosity, and sometimes by fear and dread. With few exceptions, anyone who enters such an institution for the first time is overwhelmed by the sensation of entering the seeming darkness and of an unknown world. And it just goes over the different programs that they, their history. So I originally went there just to explore the place, and I ended up learning so much about the history of not only this institution, but the history of the village of Newark also. And I had no idea how large the property was. I just went to one of the buildings and wanted to go to the laboratory. So this is where I went, the big building.
Yeah.
Ended up getting lost in there, and we didn't even know what floor we were on. It took us about 30 minutes to figure out where we were. I wanted to go there, and I was going to go there by myself until I actually gained access and walked into one of the rooms, and I felt such an eerie feeling that I wasn't gonna do it alone. So
Big doesn't even begin to describe that building, really. I mean,
Right.
I've been outside it and drove around it and stuff, and just amazing how huge it is and intimidating. I can't even imagine, you know, having to go there as a kid or anybody. That
well, they had a lot going on there. They were pretty independent as far as producing their own power, their own food, everything. Because I heard stories from a couple of people that actually worked there in the past, and they said they would pick up a baby to wash him down by his foot on one of the tables where they do autopsies. It was that they just rinse it down with water. It seems to me like they had that. In fact, what's that Russian experiment where they had the students as prisoners and students as cops, and it turned really bad really fast.
yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing these with us. Do you guys have any questions in chat? That was cool. Was that me or was that? Oh, that was you. So we'll close out. But so what we just saw were items from the New York State Custodial Asylum for Feeble-Minded Women from Newark, New York. That is a mouthful. The institution was opened in September 1878 as a branch of the Syracuse State Institution for the Feeble-minded Children. And so just some of the timeline again, from the beginning of the live stream. From 1878 to 1885, it was the New York State School and operated as part of the Syracuse State School. 1885, it became the State Custodial Asylum for Feeble-Minded Women. 1919, it became the Newark State School for Mental Defectives. In 1927, it became the Department of Mental Hygiene, and the name changed to the Newark State School. So the newspaper, was just an article just showing, John was just letting us know that the risks that you take when you trespass, basically, because he did get a fine. Were you arrested too, or like how does that work?
They just booked me.
Detain you?
I had to pay a $250 fine. So I'm now making sure I have property.
Right. Yeah, it's always good to have permission. So again, if anyone just came in, this was a mirror that was in the facility. And we had over here on the wall was an actual fallout shelter sign from the basement. And so you can research on your own anything pertaining to the Newark State Asylum. We may do a video or a live stream in the future where we're outside of the building. Obviously, we'll take John's advice and not trespass.
Extra precautions.
And but we would like to visit and maybe just do a drive-by because it is accessible from the road just to drive by it. And it's a huge facility. It's 104 acres, so it's really big.
The state's okay with you checking the property out. Just don't go inside.
Right. Yep.
And they do.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Yeah, the Newark police even said that if you go in, you'll get arrested. So it's a try to. A lot of people have. So yeah.
John, do you have a Facebook or anything or an Instagram where any of this might be posted that if somebody wanted to look you up?
Yeah, I have a Facebook. I'd have to write it down. It's under John Clayton.
John Clayton? Okay. And are there pictures of that on there or?
No, but
No.
I can.
Okay. So his Facebook is John Clayton. If anyone wants to reach out and maybe he can show like some more detailed photos. Kind of hard to do with the live stream. So that's going to do it. John, thanks again for reaching out to me on my Craigslist ad. And we were really interested in seeing this stuff. It's really a remarkable set of collection.
Well, if you'd like, I can also I can send you the pictures and you can post them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I have some of the pictures that you sent earlier on. So, okay, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to Now It's Dark. Just remember, all through the month, the rest of the month of September and October, we have videos dropping almost daily, almost 100% exclusively Halloween related. And that's going to do it for us, John. All right, goodbye, everybody.